Yes, I would say human-made. Let's be political correct. What? Because when you work in the development field, you have human-made disasters and natural disasters. This is actually what you call a human made disaster. So really, that's why we went into that country. But I will come back to that later on the policies when I articulate the question of Haiti. Haiti is under case. Haiti is what you call the quote, the oldest Negro republic in the world. And in fact, the only republic really that was founded by slaves. That's the importance of Haiti, insofar as African-American history is concerned, because most of the time we've always heard that slaves were very docile, they were happy to be slaves and they didn't want, to go anywhere else. But the fact that slaves actually, revolted in Haiti and successful proved that slaves actually wanted freedom. There have been slave revolts in this country and other places, which were crushed. But that was the first instance where actually slaves took over, their own country where they were taken to. That's the significance, and this happened in 1804. You remember Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and Toussaint, Louverture, and Jean-Christophe, and all the rest, etc., etc. They were all, what you call freedom fighters, for the Haitian people. Since then, Haiti has gone from, backwards, up and down until, the Marines, got into Haiti in 1915 or so and stayed till 1935 and left. They have had successive governments, assassinations, coups d'etats, palace revolutions, patricidal squabbles, etc., etc., until Francois Duvalier came to power in 1957. Remember, Duvalier was what you call, quote, a country doctor who rose to power on the platform or manifesto of anti-mulatto, hegemony. Remember that country has always been ruled by the mulatto elite. When Duvalier came to power...
These mulattoes are mixed...
Precisely. Precisely what you might call light-skinned in our country here. Yeah, he rose to power based on an anti-mulatto, manifesto, saying, well, that, the last mulatto president will be the last to rule this country, and the masses of the Haitian people rallied behind him, say, well, this is the man we want. So he became president in 1957 through, an election. The first thing he did when he became president was to crush everybody else, instituted this Tonton Marcute, which is a kind of secret police, a paramilitary organization to keep an eye not only on the population, but to form a counter to the army. That's why he could stay in power with his son that long without being overthrown. The Marcuse became his own private army. In case the army attempted to overthrow him, this would be the group to fight the army. Because in Haiti, the police and army are the same. Now we are talking about separating them now. That is accord. I'll come back to that. So he succeeded in staying in power until he died in 1971. And his son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, who was about 19 years old at that particular time, took over from him, supported by members of the Haitian elite, his wife, daughters, and all this, it's a kind of family rule. When Jean-Claude came to power, he kind of liberalized, his father's harsh rule, tried to make some changes. But of course, the changes he tried to make were, superficial or cosmetic, not very deep. Being an ill-educated person himself, who wasn't much interested in governance anyway. So Haiti remained, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Corruption was rampant. There were no far-reaching economic changes. Most of the money that came from the World Bank was siphoned by corrupt bureaucrats and the military, etc., etc. And of course, the rest is history. In 1986, people got fed up. There was a popular uprising that, Duvalier was overthrown. Then, of course, without active U.S. support for the insurrectionists, he would have still been in power. He was talked into going to power by United States ambassador in Haiti through pressure from Washington. That's why he left. Now, when he left, he was succeeded by Lieutenant General Henry Namfi, who was an army commander. Nanfi himself had a reputation of brutality and being a drunkard. His regime didn't last long. There was an election which most Haitian politicians, boycotted. However, a few who took part in the election, LMadu2, became president of Haiti. He was elected as president. LMadu2 has a reputation as a brilliant, professor and a very intelligent man, but politically naive. Before he consolidated his power, he tried to take on the army. And anybody with some political savvy in the third world knows that you don't mess with the army until you are strongly in place. So he wanted to dismiss Henri Nanfi and the rest. What happened was the army overthrew him. Nanfi came back to power. When Nanfi came back to power, he was even more ruthless and brutal than he was initially.